Weird Realities Network presents Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales, where we pull up a log, roast a marshmallow, and settle in as these two blondes talk spooky tales, urban legends, and classic horror icons. Exciting guests, perky blondes, and sinister tales makes this podcast as good as a double stack s'more. So let's join Bethany and Krystal as they gather around the campfire in Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales.
Hello and welcome. Huh?
Sorry. I'm just... You know how you can see the sides of our screens during that video?
Yeah.
I had an ice cube in my mouth, and I was trying to spit it out without being behind the block, but I was totally not behind the block. Anyway, hi everybody.
Totally fine. Hi. Welcome to Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales. I'm Bethany. We got Krystal right there. Right there.
Hello.
As you can tell, we kind of had a little break. We had the our normal every other week, and then we tried our scheduled podcast 2 weeks ago. Didn't quite go as well as we hoped, but we're learning.
Sorry about those technical issues. That was our first time doing a pre-recorded episode, and we will try to do better on the next one.
Exactly. Apparently, you can only record an hour of it, and we like to talk, so we went over an hour, and that's what kind of caused the technical difficulties.
Usually we're pretty good about staying close to an hour, but that episode we did not.
Yeah, no, we went.
At all.
We blew past it. But if you're able to check it out on the YouTube or Spotify, definitely go check it out. It was a really good episode. We had a really good guest host, and we talked about our favorite episodes of Supernatural Season 1. Krystal and I will probably periodically revisit Supernatural different seasons and talk about our favorite episodes because that's kind of our favorite topic to talk about. So
yeah, Supernatural is coming up in this episode tonight.
Oh yeah, because it's every episode.
Because if Supernatural can relate to our topic, we will bring it up.
Exactly. We should rename our show. It's called Supernatural Girls or something.
Just become a Supernatural podcast.
Exactly. So tonight we plan on talking about the Wendigo, or Wendigo, however you call it. People did call it different things. But we're super excited to talk about it. And Krystal has actually done a whole lot more research than I have because I dropped the ball and didn't research this week. Sorry.
I mean, you make it sound like I spent hours researching, and I didn't.
But you did more than me.
I did do research. But yeah, I've been working a lot of overtime. So I didn't have the normal amount of time I do, but I did do a little bit of research on the Wendigo. Before we get into the research though, hi Mike. And how did you first hear about the Wendigo? Because obviously we both knew about the Wendigo before this episode, and we've talked about doing the Wendigo for a little bit. So how did you first hear about the Wendigo?
I actually heard about it. Okay, I knew about it from Supernatural, but I first heard about it from X-Files. Was watching X-Files about it.
Okay.
And there was that episode where I think it turned into a bear of some sort. Actually, it kind of changed its character.
It was kind of a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. So that's kind of how I heard about it. And then when I saw it on Supernatural, it was kind of cool. And then Krystal and I were talking about before, apparently it's on Grimm too. So I had to look that up because I'm obsessed with Grimm. But that's kind of how I heard about it. How about you?
My first exposure to the Wendigo was Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. There is a Wendigo story. And it's actually, I went ahead and I reread the story because I haven't read it in a hot minute, being a children's book. And I definitely think they really edited it to make it a lot more kid friendly, because in Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, a hunter hires an indigenous person to take him out into the woods, and they're hunting and camping. The Wendigo takes the hunter off. The one thing I always remembered about this story is when the indigenous guide is running off, being taken away by the Wendigo, he's screaming, "Oh, my burning feet, my feet are on fire." That's the thing I always remembered, which actually that's probably one of the closest tie-ins that it has to the Native American legends. but then like the whole thing about the Wendigo and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is the Wendigo takes you away into the sky and basically burns you up. There's no cannibalism, no anything like that. Which is it's a book for like 8-year-olds, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was definitely my first exposure to it. I've definitely seen the X-Files episode, but I don't think it fully clicked with me when I first saw it. And of course, Supernatural episode 2. Yeah, episode 2, Supernatural, the Wendigo. Yeah. So, and hi, Londa. I saw that you joined us.
Yes, we got Mike and Londa. Well, it's a Native American mythology. And let's see. I was kind of looking it up here. It says some representations of the Wendigo is described as a giant humanoid with the heart of ice, a foul stench, or sudden unseasonable chill, possibly because of a long time identification. Oh, with their own myths about werewolves. So
yeah,
some people get kind of related that way. It's also featured with antlers or horns. Oh, but such animal features do not appear in the original indigenous stories. So
yeah, the antlers, that's more, like that they mentioned that in the research that I did a few times. Like the older stories, it was more like this decomposing corpse and just like really like gaunt and thin and like skin just barely stretched across the skeleton. Teeth like fangs. Really long fingers that with really long claws that grew out so that they could tear people up. And the antlers, that came about pretty recently. The antlers and kind of like almost like a deer looking skull shape I've seen on some depictions. That's definitely more recent.
Whenever Wendigo ate another person, it would grow in proportion to the meal it had just eaten, so it can never be full.
Yep.
So therefore, they're portrayed as gluttonous and thin due to starvation.
Yeah, they can never eat enough. Their power grows with each meal, but their hunger also grows with each.
That's got to be tough because I feel like all of us have been on a diet at one point or another. So like,
and felt like the Wendigo.
Exactly. Like you're looking at that bag of chips, you know you should eat the carrots, but those chips or those cookies are looking right back at you, and you're like, I will be better at that. And then you eat it. It's like those chips that once you pop, you can't stop.
Pringles.
Yes. I feel like a Wendigo, like we're like human Pringles to them. Like you just can't satisfy yourself.
Human Pringles. The Wendigo's like, you just keep popping the humans. I'm never satisfied. Oh, you can't eat just one.
No, they need Londa's all gross. Where is it at? There she is. She's like, no. It's like a human pop. There we go.
Yeah. And with the legends, it's really how you like how the Wendigo, like that's how they would become Wendigo, is by being cannibalistic. That cannibalism is like it's just like absolute symbols of corruption and evil, greed and gluttony, and that's how you turn in. But when this legend was new, which was I'm sure thousands of years ago, it's not that the communities, obviously they did not approve of cannibalism, but sometimes, when you're stuck and just trapped in cold places in the winter, and it's very much a northern part of North America legend, like Canada, Minnesota, the northeast of the United States, that's the area. So very cold, bitter winters. And sometimes that cannibalism might be your only way of survival. But it's like, I think it's really interesting because it's like, obviously people aren't actually turning into Wendigos, or if they are, I haven't seen them, but that doesn't mean much. But it's just like, what does doing something like that, even if it's just out of survival instincts, what does that do to you as a person? Like, I think it definitely would change you.
Well, and one common theme I've seen of the Wendigo is the ability to mimic
Mhm.
and mimic human voices and mimic people. Um, Mike says the Donner Party. That's actually referenced in Supernatural, I
Mhm.
believe, where it's like the Wendigo that they battled there was from the Donner Party
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah.
But most of the stuff that we've seen, they can mimic it, and I think that's part of the Native American
It is.
legend.
Yeah. So they mimic and they call to you, and they will they'll play psychological games with you and drive you, like literally just drive you insane to like get you to come out to where they can attack you.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Also, like I think some Native American stories have it where even animal, because it's a shape shifter, so it's not necessarily like a human voice. It might be like if you hear something on your porch and it's a deer, but like the deer looks strange or has like awkward qualities about it, then it might be like a Wendigo to get you to come out, like it's pretending to be hurt or something.
Yeah.
But it's like kind of walking strange, not a hurt strange, but just a strange, if that makes any
That's
sense.
like, yeah, no, it does. And that's like very Appalachian stories. Like, if you hear something at night, no, you didn't.
Yeah, no. Don't go check it out. Don't go
You
find
heard
out what
somebody
that.
call your name? No, you didn't.
Nope. You just keep watching your TV or you keep going to bed, whatever you're doing.
Don't look, don't acknowledge.
Right, because it's almost like that's what gives it power, I think, is the acknowledgement of it.
Yeah. And
But
like,
isn't that kind of a relation to a fear? Like fear has no power until you acknowledge it. So maybe that's kind of in relation, or how some of our stories can. I'm so sorry. Was that loud? I'm so sorry.
I mean, it wasn't loud, but we heard you. It was a sneeze. It's natural.
Maybe that's how some of our stories came about, with the thought of like, don't give into the fear because you're giving it power, like you're feeding the fear. So maybe that's something to do with the Wendigo. Like, don't acknowledge it. Londa. Bless you. Thank you, Londa.
Yeah. I think so. Like, it's, because with the Wendigo, like, consuming people and everything is how it gets its power. Well, how does it do that? So, like, the more you acknowledge it, the more power it gets.
Well, I mean, feeding
and
can
like
be
with
different
fear
forms
too.
of energy.
Yeah. And fear does, like, I'm trying to think.
Like, you can feed off fear.
Afraid. I'm trying to think of the last time I was like afraid. I was in a crawl space a few months ago.
Oh.
And being in the crawl space itself doesn't scare me. It's just part of my job. It's what I do. But as I was crawling back towards the exit, there was a spider in the insulation above me, and it was black. And of course, I couldn't tell if it was a black widow or not because I couldn't see its belly.
Yeah.
But you can bet. I was just like, and I'm terrified of spiders, definitely. But I just like was like, okay, if I freak out, I am going to end up getting bit by this spider because I'm going to like hit the insulation that's like inches above my head. Like, I just crawled super fast, and I was pretty proud of myself. And I guess like my fear kind of gave me that power in that way.
Well, there you go. I'm always afraid to go to work, but that's just.
I mean, there have been times I've been like,
I know. Like,
that's scary.
Am I coming down with something?
I think I'm sick.
Yeah. Mike says that isn't. He goes, isn't the Wendigo created because the person did things that gave up their humanity? I think that is one of the stories as well, which kind of relates to like the Donner Party and cannibalism, things like that. Like, you're doing what you can to survive, but that's not always necessarily the right thing. Like, maybe you weren't supposed to survive. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cannibalism is definitely one of the ways, but they just say like also being overcome by greed. It's just like absolute corruption.
I think it's just never being satisfied.
Which greed does that too, like
Mhm.
hunger, greed.
Yeah.
Like
Ash says there are Wendigo legends all over the country. It's like a demon in the Catholic faith. If you give in to their fear or enable them, they have power over you. That's why you don't give in to it. Exactly. So, like Krystal said, you hear your name being called in the middle of the night, you didn't hear it.
nope,
Nothing.
that didn't happen.
Don't feed it.
I
No.
heard nothing. I saw
Yeah.
nothing.
Just roll back over.
It's time to make sure my sleep sounds are turned up. That's all.
Exactly. You just got to crank that rainstorm. Although I did have a situation the other night. So for those who don't know, I have my stepdaughters who are with us half the time. And their bedroom, so it's like you have the hallway, okay? And you have our bedroom on one side, the bathroom on the other, and then we have the girls' bedroom at the end of the hallway.
Mhm.
All right. Krystal knows she's actually slept in the girls' bedroom before.
I have. Sleeping
Londa
on a
goes,
mattress on the floor hits different.
yeah. Londa goes, I hope it never calls me mom. Oh my gosh. That would
Oh,
be a
that'd be
whole nother
terrifying.
fear. But this situation was I went across across the hallway from my bedroom to the bathroom.
Mhm.
And this is when I wake up at like 2 a.m. for my Wednesday shift. And so the girls are asleep, Axel's asleep. It's that middle of the night that everybody's just in a heavy, heavy, deep sleep. And you can almost feel that when you're awake and you feel everyone in a heavy sleep. You know, it's
Mhm.
just that like stillness in the house, that quietness.
Yeah.
And I went across to go use the restroom, and I used the restroom, and as I walked back across the hallway, something caught my eye, and I backed up, and I look over, and Adeline, who is on the top bunk of their bunk bed that faces like right into the hallway, she's sitting straight up, and she's not looking at me, she's looking at the wall in front of her. So she's not looking at
No, she's
anything.
not.
Yeah, she's looking at the wall, and like
I'd be
and
like, I
like
didn't see anything.
I know. And I'm just watching her like, should I be watching this? Like, what is happening right now? And then she slowly, okay, like she's sitting
Nope.
straight up like this. She slowly goes like this, lays back down, stiff back, lays back down.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say she slowly turned her face towards you.
No. But I feel like that would have been okay because we made it on eye contact. We would have talked. It would have like broke the spell. But she just stiff as a board, laid back down. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go in the living room.
I saw
I'm gonna
nothing.
like make my coffee. I'm gonna turn on a light.
Yeah. I would have been like, nope, nothing happened. Nope, nope.
Yeah. Joseph says it's all connected to obsession, the true root of all evil. True root of all evil. Yes, I'm a master of the obvious.
Nothing wrong with being master of the obvious.
Ash says in the New Hampshire, there's a stretch of road built over Indian burial ground. For some reason, there are more deaths in that 2-mile stretch of Route 125 than anywhere in the country. It's attributed to the Wendigo. Oh.
People saw something and looked at it. Don't look
Yeah.
at it. Don't look at it.
Yeah, don't acknowledge it. Don't give it power. But it's hard. Like when you hear something and you're like, wait, what is that? It's almost like the mystery is what makes people going, huh? Like what's happening? We want to understand everything.
Very true. We're very curious creatures. Just
I know.
And it's
Curious
so
and easily scared.
Right.
It's a bad combo.
But yeah. It's just,
So-
that's why you stay in your tent at night.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know about when you went camping, but when we went camping, my parents would be in the motorhome. Okay. They would sleep in the motorhome, have like the heater, the cooler, whatever they needed.
Yeah, we
And
weren't
then
that fancy.
No, we were the kids in the tent. Like we had room in the motorhome. I don't know why we couldn't fit all of us in the motorhome, but for some reason, Mom.
Oh, I know why.
I know, but I'm not acknowledging that. Okay. So anyway,
You
Mom
heard
and Dad
nothing.
they're in the motorhome. Us kids were put in the tent, like the cold, hard dirt outside. But yeah, like your imagination just goes crazy. Like Mike, he's all, do not pick up a cute Native American lady on the side of the road. Well, we learned that in Women in White. Don't pick up any person on the side of the road who
Don't pick
looks
up
suspicious.
hitchhikers.
Yeah, hitchhikers. Oh yeah, yeah, and the hitchhiker one.
Well, don't do it.
So, what was the story in the Scared of the Dark book that you have? What was that with the Wendigo?
That was the so that was where the guy was taken out
that's
into
right,
the
that's
woods. Yeah. I'm like so that was that one, and it was the feet are burning, which the burning, hold on. I wrote a note about this because I thought it was interesting. Sorry.
No, you're good. Joseph likes this. He used to hitchhike all the time.
I mean, you know, in the 70s it was different, but in the 70s there was also a lot of hitchhikers killed by serial killers. So, you know, just
Not
saying.
necessarily in the 70s.
Okay,
There was
here
a
we
lot
go.
of hitchhiking, yeah.
Yeah. There's a reason hitchhiking isn't as popular as it used to be, but
Everyone's just gonna videotape it now.
so they had the burning feet and the scary stories to tell in the dark. It was all about the burning feet, and then he did burn. And the burning is something that is associated with the Wendigo. So there's like what is called Wendigo fever. And it's basically like during the whole like where the Wendigo is trying to get you to come out and everything, just makes you feel like your body's burning all over. And there's supposedly been reports of people just running naked through the woods, screaming about their bodies burning and just believing that their body's on fire. And it's the Wendigo fever that the Wendigo convinced them that they were burning, but they weren't.
Oh.
Yeah. So that actually does tie in to the actual legend. It's just the scary stories to tell in the dark completely avoided all the cannibalism part.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, you know, like you said, for 8-year-olds.
Yeah.
They have standards.
Yeah, you gotta have standards. You don't want the 8-year-olds reading about the cannibalistic monster.
Right. That was our childhood.
Yep.
So Mike says that there's a series on Max or Netflix or Hulu about a Wendigo.
Oh.
That's kind of cool. We were looking for stuff, so if you can figure out what that name was, let us know.
Yeah, definitely let us know. There's definitely Joseph's all about hitchhiking.
I know. He's like, I
like,
stand
still
by
my
this,
main
guys.
mode of transportation. There's definitely there's more movies out there than I realized, honestly. Ravenous, which I haven't seen, but it's from the 90s, and I remember seeing previews for it in the 90s, but I never actually saw it, and it's about a Wendigo. And then there's a more recent movie with Kerry Russell, Antlers, and that one was pretty good.
Yeah, Krystal was able to watch it. I started it, but then I got work calls today, so I wasn't able to finish it. But I rented it, so I'm definitely going to finish it. But it looked really cool. Like that beginning part was pretty catchy.
Yeah. So that one, it's kind of like a whole family getting like Wendigoed.
Like stalked.
I don't know if that's actually a verb, but I just made it one.
You're using it as what, like a verb, like an action verb?
It was Wendigoed.
Ash says, never go into the woods without a firearm. You're confident will take out a grizzly bear. At least you have a chance. Being a victim is not an option. Or don't go out in the woods without someone that you can't run faster than. You know, another option.
You don't have to be the fastest person in the world. You just have to be faster than the other person.
Exactly.
I wonder if bear spray would work on a Wendigo.
If what?
Bear spray?
I don't know. I guess if they're as a bear shape, maybe. I mean, do they take on the fears and the features or like the weaknesses of the characters that they take on?
I don't know.
That's if we ever get a Wendigo on here, we can ask them.
Yeah.
Let's see. Londa says Ravenous was good. So she's seen it.
Yeah. I'm like, it looks, I mean, I was reading up about it when I was like, oh, I didn't realize that that's what that was about. That it was about like the trailer definitely talks about like hunger and stuff. So I guess it makes sense. But I'm like, it looks pretty good. I don't know if it's available on anything to watch, but
yeah. Mike says that they talked about a Weird Awakenings. So
okay.
We'll have to check into that.
All right, so we need to figure out what series is about Wendigos.
Yeah, but Mike says you only need a 22 to go into the woods. That way you shoot the person in the knee and then you run like a. I was about to say that. I was like, or you can shoot the person like Shane did in The Walking Dead.
I could do that with bear spray too. Bear spray works on a human.
Technically. Or just trip them. If you have no other option, just trip them.
Sorry, you just got Wendigoed. I've got to go this way now.
Got Wendigo. I'm going to be at work and I'm going to be so excited. I'm going to be like, you just got Wendigoed. And I'm going to laugh hilariously and walk away. And my coworkers will know nothing of what I'm talking about.
I mean,
except for
we'll
Lydia, because she watches our show. So, Londa, such a sweet lady.
Oh yeah, we have absolutely no hesitation to know that if Bethany and I are stuck in the woods and something attacks us, whoever survives is going to be the person to knock the other one out first.
It is a free-for-all. We have made this contract. Like,
and there will be no hard feelings. We will not haunt each other because, like, you left me to the Wendigo. Like, I would have done the same thing. I can't be mad.
I feel like we would be in that situation of a werewolf in Paris or a werewolf in London, where like the best friend who gets killed by the werewolf haunts the other person. I feel like we would do that to each other.
Yeah.
Like,
you're a werewolf now. Look what this werewolf did to me.
Exactly. Or look what this Wendigo did. Like there would be no hard feelings, but we would definitely haunt the hell out of each other. Just to give each other a hard time.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. More of just to annoy each other. You should still haunt each other because it'll be funny.
It would be.
Exactly. You can have that cup of tea. Boo. No.
Just be like, oh, you want some hot chocolate? How about a little drop of my face?
you totally took, like, you got all into that. That was like up close and personal.
I swear, I am completely sober.
No, you're not. Londa's on the same wavelength.
Anyway, okay. Sorry, you guys. If we don't make any of you laugh, we make each other laugh.
So. Totally. That's the whole point, right? Oh my gosh. We need that though. Krystal and I, we both had bad days today. So we're both just like, we're over it.
Work was rough today for both of us.
Yeah. It was a day.
Happy hump day, everybody.
Yes.
If you had a rough work day, I'm sorry, but it's almost the weekend.
I mean, for me, it is like Wednesdays are my Fridays sometimes. So.
Oh, nice.
It's my Friday. I'm off the next 2 days. I'm really excited.
That's super exciting.
I know.
I'd love to be off the next 2 days.
But then again, I work the weekend. So.
Yeah. I'm going to be working all weekend too, but that's fine.
Joseph had a bad day today too.
Oh, sorry, Joseph. Here's
join in the fun.
Your day's getting better.
Yeah. Happy hump day, or just do what Krystal and I do, and we just drink. You know. Londa, she goes, y'all got Wendigo.
We got Wendigoed.
That was perfect. So other encounters of Wendigo, I know you and I both saw the Supernatural. I don't know if anyone else saw the Supernatural episode.
Yeah.
But that one I thought was kind of cool because they did do the mimicry in that.
Yes.
When the kind of like what you said, how the Wendigo hunter was the one who was attacked by the Wendigo, and then the Wendigo was mimicking his voice, trying to get a hold of everyone,
trying to lure you to where they can get you. The Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch. I know of that series.
I've seen that. I didn't know that was about the Wendigo though. I think I just kind of thought it was like a
Skinwalkers and Wendigos are similar. They do have some similar qualities, but I don't think they're exactly the same. But they're very similar, and like some of the stuff does cross over. So I think that's fair.
Yeah. The only thing I was going to say was that the reason why I did not check out Skinwalker Ranch is because I feel like Netflix and Hulu has kind of tried to trick me with some of their documentary names. Because I would watch something thinking it's like a paranormal episode or something, and it's like just the name of the ranch, or it's like the name of whatever island they went to or something, and had nothing, or like the last name of the person who was in it, and it was nothing paranormal. So I feel like I've been tricked. So I've seen
I agree with Lon on that one. Those bastards.
so like I've seen Skinwalker Ranch, and I purposely not clicked on it because I was like, oh, maybe it's like a cool Skinwalker. And then I was like, no, it's probably a trick. I'm not going to click on it because then whatever streaming service that is will think I like it and they'll send me more.
I think I've seen a few episodes of Skinwalker Ranch, and it's like, like they do talk about skinwalkers and stuff because supposedly, it's like it's a ranch I think in Nevada.
Oh yeah,
I think, and yeah, so there's weird stuff that happens on it all the time. Don't try to trespass because you'll get prosecuted. But people try to trespass all the time because supposedly weird stuff happens on it all the time, and it's
so like
yeah,
George Lucas's ranch or Skywalker Ranch.
Skywalker Ranch, yeah. Skywalker, Skinwalker, they're
Yeah, pretty close. I feel like that's another streaming service trickery right there.
Oh, that sounds like that was a good episode.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out.
Yeah, but
so we had the supernatural one. There was a Grimm episode, and I looked it up. And as much as I'm like obsessed with Grimm, I'm not remembering this episode.
Okay,
Wanda, I don't know if you remembered it. But even looking it up, I'm like, yeah, I'm not recalling this one. Fun fact about the Grimm, though, totally unrelated to the Wendigo episode. Actually, this goes into our Las Lorenas episode.
Okay.
Lorenas?
La Llorona.
Why? Yeah, I say German, not Spanish. So sorry.
I can get the double L other times, but for some reason it's with the O after it that it just
I can't do it. I just say that one with the lady who stole the children. So when I worked at a certain resort that was kind of known to have celebrities, I had my fair share encounter of certain people. That was super fun.
Mm-hmm.
But one of them, I just remember I was doing this pedicure, and she was not getting a pedicure by me. She was getting a pedicure by another one of my associates. And she was getting her pedicure, and I just kept like, I wasn't staring at her because like at this place you learn not to, you just kind of acknowledge. But like out of the corner, I'm like, I know this lady. I know her. And turns out it clicked like halfway through her service. She was the one who played the white lady on that episode of Grimm. Like apparently she's like a huge Latino actress, like in like telenovas and stuff like that. She's like huge in that, which I didn't know because I don't watch those, but I knew her from this episode, and I was like, oh, so that was really cool. That's my random story.
Nice. I like it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, kind of related, through Grimm. Mike goes, lots of fictional stories out there about the Wendigo. Yeah. And I feel like that's just maybe because there were so many different tribes who had that story, and it all kind of played a little differently. Kind of like when you hear a ghost story in the US, different parts of the country, you hold different parts of that story. Like there's different adaptations to it. So maybe same type of thing with the Native American tailing. But also, whenever you tell a story, it's like the game of telephone. Every time you talk, it kind of changes a little different. So,
oh yeah, which is definitely why the image of the Wendigo has changed from what it used to be to now this like antlered thing.
Yeah,
like things change over time. Oh, big stretch from Kitty Cat behind you. Sorry.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Sherlock.
Okay. I'm like, I can't tell from so far away, but I saw the big stretch.
Indy's not on my thing. He's like over there.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah. So once apparently, I don't know if I tuckered him out because we were playing earlier with his little string. So maybe I just tuckered him out too much. He's not like crashing my screen right now.
He doesn't need to be there. Stephen King has the Wendigo in a few novels too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Pet Sematary actually.
That's true.
the cemetery was the reason that the cemetery was like that was because a Wendigo cursed it, and it's the curse of the Wendigo that reanimates all the corpses that are buried there and makes them an evil version of who they used to be.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, the Wendigo was in there, and it was so nonchalant. They didn't focus on the Wendigo at all. It was just a random comment every now and then, and the movies never even mentioned it.
Yeah, well, I think they kind of mention it like in passing in the newer one. They have like a little scene where they're just talking about Native American legends, and they're just like, oh, the Wendigo.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's just nothing.
Yeah,
And
like one state. Yeah.
and like even in the book, like it's talked about, but it's just like, you know, it's just, but it's still just kind of like a to the side thing. And it's not, even though it's kind of the main antagonist because that's where all the power is coming from. It's not what you remember about the book. You don't remember, oh yeah, Pet Sematary is a book about a Wendigo. That's not what you think about. When
you think of the little boy cutting the heel of the guy. You think of like,
oh my gosh, right?
like that's what sticks out to me.
I was never afraid of anything being under my bed until I watched Pet Sematary.
It's my heel. Like it's that, and then that scene from House of Wax where he cuts the Achilles tendon. Like I can't watch those. And then of course, Krystal knows my fear with Ernest Scared Stupid, with that stupid troll underneath the bed. And that's like my first horror movie I ever saw. Ernest Scared Stupid. So let's see. Londa's got a good point. You should watch telenovelas with the sound off and make up your own dialogue.
Nice.
I feel like I have to do that anyway half the time. Let's see. Mike, I like the original with Fred Munster is the neighbor across the street. Yeah. He makes a good one.
Yeah, it's good. And then the Wendigos also mentioned in The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. It's kind of like it's another Stephen King novel. And it's been a long time since I've read that one. But it's like a girl is like lost in the woods. And I don't think I don't remember if the Wendigo is ever like on screen. I mean, it's a book, so it's not a screen, but you know what I mean by that. Right. But it's like this creature that's kind of like, because she's lost in the woods, I think, for a few days. And so it's just kind of like they're on the outskirts of everything and like kind of stalking her, but not really known. Yeah. And then I saw something. Yeah. And then I saw something that said it was also in The Body, which is the short story that this what's the movie called? It's where they find the dead body.
That's a lot of movies. Stand by Me.
Stand by Me.
Okay.
I almost said The Stand, and I was like, that's not right.
No,
completely different story.
Yeah, no, Stephen King. It would be Stand by Me.
Stand by Me. Well, I mean, The Stand is Stephen King too, but
we should do a show on Stephen King. I feel like that would be like a 2 or 3 part, kind of like Supernatural. Like we could do as movies and then as books.
Well, yeah, I mean, we did do the episode just on it.
I know.
So
I know. I feel like The Shining would be a good one, especially with Dr. Sleep. So
we could do that.
Yeah. We'll hear your guys' input. If you guys have any input on that, let us know.
Yeah, if you have any input on more Stephen King episodes.
Yeah.
And how we should handle those.
Exactly. Because otherwise it's literally Krystal and I like 2 days before the podcast. What do you want to talk about? I don't know. Let's do this. Okay, cool.
But yeah, so apparently in the short story, and it's been a long time since I read this and I don't remember it, but apparently the Wendigos mentioned in the story The Body. Definitely not at all in the movie, but
you know, I didn't read Stand by Me or The Body. I didn't read that.
Yeah, it's a short story. I don't remember which collection it's in right now.
Okay.
But
I think the show Haven was based off of a Stephen King short story.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that show, so.
I read the story when the show first came out, but I feel like that was like 15 years ago or so. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. 10, more than 10 that show came out.
Okay.
Because I was still married at that time. So that was a while ago.
That was a while ago, yeah.
So, but let's see. The Wendigo.
Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. But I mean, I think like Sundog. Sorry, I looked at
Sundog.
Londa's comment, but then didn't.
No, you're good. I don't know.
So I
Sundog.
thought Sundog was newer. When did Sundog come out? Hold on, I'm looking
Yeah,
this
I'm
up.
like, now I gotta Google it.
I know. Londa's thrown me off. I thought I knew my Stephen King, and I might be wrong.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm yawning. I'm tired.
It's been a long day. Oh, it is. It's from 1990. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, but they split it out into a book. Okay, that's why.
Okay.
Because it's in 4 Past Midnight. Got it.
Now, see, I feel like Wendigo, when I think of that, I also think of that game. Ugh, what's
Which
it called?
game?
I need to look it up. Axel was supposed to tell me. I was like, text me the name of the game. He's like, okay. And then like 3 hours later, I got nothing.
He failed today.
Exactly. Well, to be fair, he's planning our Chicago trip. So like he's got a lot of stuff. I think it's Until Dawn. I think that's the name of it. Until Dawn. That seems familiar. But anyway, this game, it actually, one of the characters is based off of like Hayden Panettiere. Like it looks like her.
Okay.
But I was playing this game.
Is it a card game?
No. It's a video game.
Oh, okay.
And it's a really cool interactive game. I'm not a big gamer. Like I'll play Mario.
Oh, is this the one you
Kart.
and Chelsea were talking about on the Supernatural episode that didn't?
Yeah. So like my version of gaming is Mario Kart. I don't play all these games, but this one got my attention. And it's basically like this group of teenagers who go up to this cabin, and it's like windy and snowy and stuff, and things happen, and you can choose. It's like a choose your own adventure kind of game, which I figure is probably most games nowadays. But for me, it was a new experience. So, but the thing is the game remembered your choices. So like there's at one point you were like shooting like pew 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 pew, like shooting cans, and you could shoot like this bird or chipmunk or whatever. And whether you chose to shoot the bird or chipmunk, the game remembered that, and you had like ramifications from that later on in the game. So,
I
like,
should hope so. Why are you shooting chipmunks?
Well, I know, because people are crazy. But like, I obviously did not shoot it, but there was good and bad to each scenario.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, turns out the thing that was like slowly hunting them and killing them was a Wendigo.
Oh,
And
nice.
it was like a freaky game. I remember playing this game, and I was just like, I would like throw the controller to whoever I was playing it with, and I'm like, you battle them. Like I'll make the decisions and do stuff, but when we battle, that's you.
You're like, it's too scary. I need you to do this part.
Exactly. And then I would watch it like this. I was like, no, what's happening? So, but it was a really fun game. I thought it was super fun. And it was funny because my nephew said it too. He's like, oh yeah, that's the Wendigo game. And I'm like, how do you know? And then I felt really hip that I played the same game that my nephew played.
I mean, well, my nephew just like is the opposite because he doesn't do anything like nowadays. Like I remember his 16th birthday party. He was playing all the music from when you and I were in high school.
Nice.
I was like, okay. Works for me.
Exactly.
So he knows like all the old stuff.
It's not old, damn it.
Okay, it's not that old, but like he doesn't pay attention to like the newer stuff, you know?
Yeah. Londa, I still scream and run away.
I mean,
games have definitely upped the ante since when you and I were younger and they came out.
Yeah.
Like Donkey Kong has got nothing on like Resident Evil and Until Dawn and
but just like the screaming and running away or like the tossing the remote, that just reminds me of when Joey has to put The Shining in the freezer because it scared him.
Oh yeah.
In Friends. It's scary. I'm putting it in the freezer for a minute.
That movie's got to cool down a little bit. Londa's kids apparently hate it when she plays.
Well, that's what they get.
Yep.
You play your games, Londa. Don't let them bully you.
Mike, I guess I'm lucky. I'm never scared of the dark, as that's the only thing Oh, Mike. We're gonna sleep by now.
Like, now I'm just sad.
But that's like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I know you adapt to it, but at the same time, like, I don't know. Do you have that thing where when you close your eyes, you still kind of see colors? So I don't know. I don't know if Mike, if you have that experience where you close your eyes, you still see colors or like flashes or something like that. So that'll be interesting to learn more.
Yeah, if you ever want to tell us anything,
I know we're always open to hearing.
Thanks.
Londa,
we don't want to be like intrusive, but
you used to ask me if you should put it in the freezer. Your husband was a Joey fan.
Maybe Joey had a point.
Okay, so Mike says he doesn't really see anything at all. So, okay, cool. Well, not cool, but I mean, I heard. Well, no, because I know there was like a medication out for some people who weren't able to see stuff, but like every now and then they would see like spots or flashing or things like that. So I didn't know what level you were.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently my dad's on the show. He's
so logged in.
Hi, Dad. So, but I don't know. I don't really know too many more Wendigo stuff.
No, I mean, I think we've covered the Wendigo pretty well, actually.
Mm-hmm. Well, in terms of our knowledge of it,
yeah,
two blondes' knowledge of it.
Yeah, that's what we know about the Wendigo. Exactly. But I mean, it's just like it's definitely very. It's just like, I don't know. I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
Oh, look at Mike. I only see darkness, but I live in light.
Hey.
That's the spirit. Because Mike always has those really nice posts every morning. I look forward to it every morning.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, with the Wendigo, it's just, it's, I think it's a very North American tale. It's just, it's very, because there's a lot of legends and things that if you go to different countries and different continents, they still have like similar stories, similar tales, but I feel like the Wendigo is very specific to North America.
Yeah. Well, and imagine just camping in the woods. Like you're just out there, you're just doing your thing, and then you start hearing like a human-like sound calling you. Like for someone like us, we're all into like the paranormal things like that. But imagine just not being into that or knowing much about it and hearing that, especially if they like mimic the cry of a baby or any type of sound like that. Like that's going to get people going to go look for it. So it's almost like DoorDash for the Wendigo.
DoorDash. I was thinking it was a little bit in that way. It was a little bit like the Banshee of Ireland. But sure, it could be like DoorDash too.
Yeah, however you want to look at it.
It'll just be like, it's like, oh, here's your DoorDash. Oh, never mind. Sorry, you got Wendigoed.
You got Wendigoed. Yep. Mike goes, if I'm camping, I don't want to hear any sound I'm not supposed to hear. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What always gets me when I'm camping is the sound where you hear like the crack of like a branch.
Yes.
And you're like, who just broke a branch and why?
Yeah. What's out there?
Yeah.
Or when you're camping and you really have to go bathroom, but you don't want to leave your tent. Yeah, that's a whole nother experience.
Have you heard of shiwis?
No. Oh, is that where like for women to help us go bathroom and not have to like?
Yeah, and then you can do it in a tent and just like into like a bottle like a guy does or something. Instead of having to like go squat by a tree in the middle of the night.
Oh gosh. Dad goes, is someone letting you know the pizza's ready or is it something else?
Is it Ding Dong Dominoes or Ding Dong Wendigo?
Right? He's all, what did Krystal do? In your face.
Yeah. That's what my ghost is going to do to you.
Oh my gosh, Mike. He's like, oh, not Pee Wee Herman.
He did.
He did pass away. Yep.
Yeah.
That guy better not pee in the bottom.
I mean, if there was a Wendigo outside, I wouldn't blame him.
Yeah.
Pee in a bottle or get Wendigoed.
Exactly. Don't get Wendigoed.
Don't
That's
get
the moral
Wendigoed.
of our episode today is don't get Wendigoed. I feel like Joe and Ash bailed on us.
Right? They were just like, that's too much.
Yeah, these girls are crazy.
I can't handle them.
All right. Well, I feel like we kind of chatted as much as we could about the Wendigo right now.
So, yeah. So, moral of today's story: don't get Wendigoed.
Yeah, don't get Wendigoed.
If you saw something, no, you didn't.
Yes, and don't
If you
answer.
heard something, no, you didn't.
Nope, nothing. Let us know, guys, if you want to hear more about like Stephen King, or if you want to hear more about supernatural episodes, or if there's any tales or books. We can always talk books and movies. You know, we're gathering around the campfire, so whatever you want to talk about, but let us know. Mike goes, if there's a Wendigo outside, I'll be in the corner.
Same.
So,
I don't want to get Wendigoed.
Londa just wants to hear all of it.
Okay. All right, Londa, we'll get to every single one of those.
Exactly.
Just give us
For some
some
reason,
time.
they keep letting us show our episodes, so
Yeah.
we'll just keep talking. Well, that's it for tonight on Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales. Krystal, do you have anything to talk about? Mysteries, Murder, and Mayhem at all coming up? Do we have any plans?
No. I need to make plans. I apologize, everyone. I've honestly been doing nothing but working every single day. But I will make the time and I will figure it out. It's only the 9th. We still have time.
Yeah, we have plenty of time.
But so by our next episode, I will definitely have at least some more information about murders, mystery, and makeup.
Mhm.
Makeup, not makeup. I'm not Bailey Sarian.
Mayhem. I got you.
Thank you.
And then right now I'm finishing up my short story for the Riders of Apocalypse by the Weird Kids. If you guys ever want to see where I'm at on that, Sylvester and we actually do a live TikTok stream every Thursday. Well, most Thursdays, where we both just do writing sprints and writing sessions. So if you ever want to see where we're at on those stories, that's normally the story I'm working on when we do those. And then speaking of Wendigos, I don't know why I blanked on this, but my Gabby Jones book, the first one that I have, is actually with a Wendigo. So but I've been working on the short story. I've been working on the sequel to Highway, that's Sabotage. That's about halfway done. My nephew's actually been reading it. And then yeah, and I've been working on the Gabby Jones Vella and the book. So there's like 4 different projects. Plus, I got to go to work. So
yeah, I'm just going to say the fact that you forgot that you are in fact writing a novel that includes a Wendigo. I am just blaming that on the fact that you had a long day at work.
It's been a very long day, guys. And I thought of that too when I mentioned the Wendigo. I was like, we should do the Wendigo. And they're like, oh my gosh, Gabby Jones. She's battling the Wendigo. And I'm like, this is going to be great. I can talk about my book. And then at the very end of the episode, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm writing a book.
I mean, it's okay. I forgot the name of the other show for a minute. So I'm fine. It's been a long day for both of us.
It's been, thanks guys for putting up with us.
Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. It does seem like everybody had a day of a Wednesday this week. So we hope that the rest of your week goes better.
Exactly. Not quite summer, not fall. So we're all just dealing with it day by day.
Yep.
We will catch you guys next time on Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.